Welcome to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Brecheen.
Hi, everyone. You're listening to the Sports Scouting Report. I'm your host, Lee Brecheen. Really got a good show today. We have an interview that I did at Pearl River High School. Really enjoyed my interview there. And I interviewed 4 big-time players. They're all underclassmen, meaning they not only have this year, they have some of them 2 years left. One kid has 3 years left after this year. Gabe Whittington, a big fullback, OD lineman, fullback for college. He's a young kid, strong. Brian Jenkins, who's only going to be a sophomore, has run for several games over 200 yards. Kaileb Rayford, a great DB receiver for the team, another underclassman. Austin Wadsworth, a quarterback, good-looking tall kid, 6'3", about 170. All these kids are going to be eligible again to play after this year. They're all young, great players. Not at the interview, but a couple of really good players at Stephen Camp, a receiver DB, a senior, has a chance to go to a small college. And big Daniel Sinclair. Daniel wasn't able to make it to the interview, but he's a senior, class of 222. Their best senior prospect, 6'5", 305 pounds, an offensive lineman. He's a good-looking kid. He's got a chance to really develop in college. We're also going to talk about the NFL a little bit. I'm really shocked, and not shocked. It's just a great example for young men that just because you have great talent doesn't mean you're going to have a long NFL career. It's things are going to go your way right away. Josh Rosen was cut. We're going to talk about that by the 49ers, the quarterback, the young quarterback from UCLA. We're also going to talk about injuries in the SEC, Southeastern Conference. It's going to play a role already with Florida Gators and the Mississippi State Bulldogs. They each had an important starter go down with knee injuries before the second scrimmages. I mean, it's something that to really pay attention to because of all this free agency in college football, the portal, people transferring. Nobody wants to wait a year. You go enroll as a freshman and you sit out and you don't even come back to your spring practice and you go to another college. This is going to start catching up to a lot of colleges this year if you have a lot of injuries. But I want to go ahead and start, before we do our Pearl River High School interview, this segment I want to talk about the NFL and how they call it not for long. That's what the NFL means by a lot of people, not for long. If you can get a 10-year career or a 15-year career, you're blessed. It's very rare. If you can get 4 years and 2 games to get your pension, that's what you're shooting for. 5 years would be great. But most players don't even get 3 years. And the pension's set up that way because they know the law of averages, you're not going to get 4 years in and some change. But when you look at Josh Rosen from UCLA, LSU's opponent, the first week of September, when you go back to college football and you get caught up in all the hype, he was the hottest thing in college football. He was the greatest talent, 6'5", 220 pounds with an arm, 90-yard arm. He had it all. He's drafted the 10th pick overall by the Arizona Cardinals. Wow, remember that? We already forgot about that, right, because of Murray out of Oklahoma. He's didn't make it in Arizona. That was 2018. So he ends up in San Francisco's camp. And Jimmy Garoppolo, and they just drafted Trey Lance, first-round pick, North Dakota State, who looks great, by the way. And he got beat out by veteran Nate Sudfeld. A lot of people don't even know who Nate Sudfeld is. But Nate Sudfeld beat Josh Rosen out. So they already know who their third quarterback's going to be in San Francisco. But I will say this. Things don't always happen fast for players in the NFL, and I want college players to hopefully hear this show, or high school kids. I think Josh Rosen still has a chance to be a great quarterback. It's just you're going to be humbled. You're not going to be a superstar all the time right away for a lot of these guys. Remember Brett Favre? Before he was a Packer, he was an Atlanta Falcon. And he didn't play. He did not play hardly his first year in the league and was traded to Green Bay from Southern Miss out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And the rest is history. He found his groove. Patience. Being patient is what succeeds in life and anything, I believe. And hard work. So, the New Orleans Saints, I hope they consider picking up a guy like this to develop, because he's only 24 years old. I think the pressure of pro ball and maybe not being as committed to the game kind of got Josh Rosen a little bit, and he couldn't catch up in Arizona. It was just, in Arizona was bad, man. I mean, they were on the decline when they drafted him. He had no weapons to throw to. I mean, Patrick Peterson was kind of wanting out at that time. And, you know, Josh Rosen is a guy that you go to San Francisco, you have no chance to start, right? They just draft Trey Lance. They've got Jimmy Garoppolo. And they got this guy, Nate Sudfeld, who's cheaper to keep on the roster as the third quarterback. If I'm the Saints, I'm thinking of picking this guy up. I mean, you know, it's sometimes you just need to be around the right players and have the right talent around you. And it might be the right time to get a guy like this and steal it. I mean, you can get a former number one pick who's really just, you know, I mean, again, in Arizona, it's hard to win there. When he was there, everybody was leaving. And they didn't have the talent that they have now in Arizona with Murray from Oklahoma. So I would think this would be a good opportunity for the Saints to maybe consider picking this guy up. Not to be a star this year, but maybe be the future. You never know. I mean, a guy's 24 years old. He can still throw the ball 90 yards. He's a good quarterback. Just the opportunity to make it in the league probably just wasn't there at the right, just the timing, I believe. And then maybe coming in the league, he just didn't put the work in that he should have. Now he's mature. He'll be 25 next year. He's only 24 years old. I also want to mention in this segment, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I'll mention it going into our Pearl River interview, Pearl River High School, with their players and coach. I'm really excited. I hope people enjoy that. But let's go and take a break. We'll be right back. Listen, whatever you're driving right now, Tommy Harvey wants it. Bring it in to Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, or John Harvey Toyota. They're paying big bucks for all trades right now. They'll cut you a check right there. Tell them Lee sent you. Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Scouting Report. Our topic today is going to be Pearl River High School football. Before we get to that interview, I want to finish what we're talking about, just miscellaneous stuff, but Jamal Adams just signed a humongous contract, the former LSU DB from Dallas, Texas. He's only 25 years old. Get this, $38 million guaranteed over 4 years. Think about that. Not 20 years, not 10 years, 4 years. $38 million guaranteed. With the signing bonus and everything included, the contract has a max value, get this, of 4 years. $72 million. 4 years. This is not 30, 15, 10. It's amazing. I have no problem with this at all. But I bet you people like Fran Tarkenton and Terry Bradshaw and Roger Staubach are like, wow, we didn't make this in our career. These guys are able to make this in 3 or 4 years. Congratulations to Jamal Adams. He's got a chance to make $72 million in 4 years. That's just insane. And he's only 25 years old. What a great player from LSU. Hebron High School, right outside of Dallas, Texas, is where he was a great, great DB. And his dad played in the NFL as well. Speaking of the SEC, before we get into our Pearl River interview, Mississippi State lost one of their best D linemen for the season, which is going to really, I think, it's going to be tough on them. They were already ranked number 105 in the country on defense. They were not too much ahead of LSU last year. But they lost Jordan Davis, the Memphis, Tennessee native. He's a defensive end. He's going to be a senior, 6'5", 250 pounds, runs a 4.6 40. Tore his ACL. He's out for the year. this is a huge loss for Mississippi State. If there's one position, two positions you do not want to have injuries, that's offensive line and defensive line. Considering all the transfers lately, you cannot make this up. There's just not enough talent on the roster, and you're not even into your second scrimmage. Jordan Davis is an NFL prospect. He came back to get another year. This was going to be his – he had 22 tackles in 2020, which is really good for a junior last year. Rotating in a deep – I mean, he was going to start. He was going to be one of their top front seven guys. Now, what happens if you have another injury on D-line during the season, you're one deep. Another big injury I think that's going to hurt Florida in the long run, the Florida Gators lost one of their top defensive backs to a knee injury for the year, Jaden Hill from the state of Alabama. Played at Bob Madison High School in Alabama. Jaden Hill is, 6'1", 195 pounds, was going to play cornerback. And we all know what injuries did to LSU last year, missing a lot of DBs. Nobody carries more than 6 cornerbacks that can play. Now Florida's down to 5. So if they have an injury during the season, then they'll be down to 4. And you need 5 to play today. We've got this 5 wide, 4 wide offenses. You got to have a lot of – so, no one's deep anymore. And it's very unfortunate. Hope these young men can heal up and get back. And I hate to see when these guys have knee injuries like this or back injuries or broke legs or anything like that. But, again, this is a major injury for Florida and Mississippi State, and they're not even into their second scrimmage yet before their first game. I think injuries are going to play a big part in college football in 2021 more than ever before, because I think this is the first year, and no one's really talking about this, but this is the first year that we're going to really see what the transfer portal has really done to college football the last 2 years, and if it catches up with some of these coaches. And a lot of it's not their fault, because the system is to where the scholarship problem is they can't replace guys because you got to sign your 25-man class. And if you lose way more than what you're signing, you can't make it up. You got to hope you get some good walk-ons or convince guys to walk on. That could be scholarship guys, which they're not doing yet fully. So this is something to pay attention to. I think these are both opponents of LSU. LSU's got to get through camp. LSU's got another week, and they got to get healthy as well. So I know Stingley's being held out right now. Rick's just got back, and they've got to have their DBs back to beat UCLA. UCLA's strength is their quarterback and their receivers. That's their strength. They can spread you out. That's their strength. Power football is not UCLA's strength. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into our Pearl River High School interview with Coach Michael Laberte and also his top recruits for the next 3 years. Pearl River High School. I had a chance to go over there and interview Coach. We'll be right back. If you need a paint job or repairs to your vehicle, go see Madine's Collision Center located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on Kincaid Avenue. The number to call is 357-7983. That's 357-7983. Your Baton Rouge Accident Advisors. Welcome back to the Sports Scouting Report. I'm your host, Lee Brecheen. I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday. We're going to go ahead and get into our Pearl River High School interview. Again, I was really happy to go to Pearl River recently and meet the head football coach that I've talked to a lot over the phone, Michael Laberte, a great guy. Man, he's passionate. You're going to see this in the interview. He's so passionate about his program, and I love that. I love a coach that's just determined and speaks with his heart. And his team has got a lot of talent coming up, a lot of young guys that have played, and they've got a lot of eligibility left. I mean, a lot of these guys have 2 years left after this year. Check this interview out with Pearl River High School. Okay, I'm at Pearl River High School. I'm glad I'm here. It's been 6 years since I've been here just to come by during the morning. And I'm glad that Coach Michael
that you allowed me to come by and meet you kids and see the program, take pictures of you guys. They filled out forms. Coach, tell everybody about your program. I mean, very competitive. A lot of great running backs have come in here. Gilliam is the one that I remember the most.
Yes, sir.
Gilliam, and y'all had another one recently.
Yes, sir. We had Corey Warren. And just like, just for my sake, obviously wanting you guys to be here. I mean, that's one of the big things I'm an advocate of. I told our kids I'm gonna do everything in my power to that's all I can do is put them out there. They have to play for themselves and make plays themselves. But I will do everything I can as a coach to make sure that like Pearl River is known and that our kids are getting the same thing that the West Monroes are getting and that the Zacharys are getting and the Scotlandvilles are getting. We're going to do everything I can to make sure, recruits know what's going on. We're going to play good ball teams. We're playing Newman this year, and Lakeshore, and Salmon, and Franklinton. So schedule's a good thing. And, as far as the running back history here, we make it well known that, we kind of are, I kind of joked with the RBH. I mean, we've had some real good ones. You look up here, we had, Tillison went to the league. Yeah. Gillum went to Minnesota. Corey Warren, our latest bag, he's at Nicholls right now as a freshman.
They're getting everybody.
So, Jim's doing good. Robo's doing a good job there. Real good job. But then and pretty much we have Jenkins, and actually his little cousin is a freshman who, lately the last 3 or 4 years what we've been doing, it has a freshman bag. And as a freshman, he got to work with Corey. So it was 24/7. It was kind of like, Corey's going to get ball 18, 20 touches. He's going to get 5 or 6. And when Corey walked out, he was able to slip right in. And, he went for over 1,000 last year in 7 games. I think that speaks for itself. And we've been a wing T team in the past. So, now we're more of a multiple team. We have, obviously, Austin can throw it around a little bit. So we're starting to get some skilled kids that see that we have changed those things and they want to be involved. And, we're going to make our roots on running the football. That's just what we do. I think that's, but then play action is going to be there for us. And I think we're going to be damn good at it.
We got 4 of you guys here, but there is a lineman that's not here. I want to mention your big senior lineman.
Yes, sir. Daniel Sinclair. He's a 26, 27 ACT kid, 3.5 student. Started for 3 years. Big old boy. Obviously, they all got, they got some upsides to him. They got some downsides. He's still got to get better at certain things. But his size and his grades are awesome. And, that's the key thing. I mean, one thing we're going to do in this program is we're going to discuss grades because I don't give a damn how good you are. You have to be eligible. And, we got to get them right.
Daniel's a legit 6'4", about 319.
He's 6'5", 326.
Oh, really?
As a senior, great grades, good kid. I mean, Ironman type kid. Ironman is somebody that don't miss a practice at all. That's one of the things we do here. He's a candidate for that. Very good kid, very smart kid. He'll be a blessing for somebody.
Brian Jenkins, I wanted to talk to you. You're the next in the line, man. A great backs here. What's it like being the next guy? I mean, you look on the walls, you hear the history of Pearl River, all the guys that run for. It's been 2 or 3 of them run for 4,000 yards here.
0 for 5.
Yeah, for 5. I mean, that's incredible. It's an incredible feat.
Yeah.
Brian, what is it like to carry that torch?
Kind of weird, to be honest.
You're only a junior coming up, too, right? So you got 2 years. 2 years to be heavily involved, and 5'9", 193 pounds. I mean, prototypical high school back, 190 plus.
And weight. I think as a senior he's gonna be a 205-pound bag, and he kind of he's a quiet kid, humble kid. He don't say a whole lot, obviously, but I mean I've said it before, like we're gonna do our part to get our guys, and I try to be real with our kids too. Like everybody's not playing football for Alabama. Yeah. That's okay. Play football somewhere.
He listed Alabama. So.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be. If anybody can sign with those guys, right. Look, I'd love for Saban to be here too. That's a good deal. But the biggest thing is he's a good bag. And last year it was him and Moss. Yeah. We played each other in the playoffs. Yeah. And Moss is a good player. Yeah, the kid from Estroma, he's real good. He is. And it was. But I mean, what Brian? I mean, you went for 290.
I went for 256.
256, and Moss had 284.
Yeah. I watched Moss as a true freshman.
Yeah, he's got a different gear.
He was 6 foot 190 as a true freshman.
He's got a different gear. He's definitely a kid he can go.
But you had 256 in that game, and you were just a sophomore. That was a heck of a game for you. And look, if you're shy, it's okay. I mean, look, my first few times, I couldn't get a word out when I was a sophomore in high school, but you got 2 more years. You're gonna loosen up over time. You're gonna do a few of these. I want to mention your quarterback. We're gonna get to Gabe Whittington, but Austin Wadsworth. You're a junior.
Yes, sir.
Tall. Drop back quarterback. You can run too, but
A little bit.
What's your opinion of Coach is so energetic and how that rubs off on you and the team?
It's great, honestly, because he's just always on us and like keeps us going. He just hypes us up during practice, and I really feel like it's just going to be a really good season with him.
I see that you like Mississippi State. I have a bunch of friends that are from Mississippi State, by the way.
Sure.
Auburn, obviously. I know TJ Finley's there now.
Yes,
LSU. I'm sure you're a Burrow fan, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Favorite LSU player, who would that be?
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, okay.
Yes, sir.
So what do you need to work on? You're still growing. You're still getting tall. Your weight's still coming. 6'3", you're 160. You're probably going to be almost 200 in 2 years.
I really hope so.
And but you got that frame to be 200 easily, sitting here looking at you and talking to you. But what do you need to work on? You got a 4.0 GPA in the classroom. It's like you got that conquered. But on the football field, what do you think you need to work on?
Honestly, I think I just need to work on my footwork a little bit and obviously getting a little bit faster here and there, just in case like I need to get out the pocket and kind of facilitate more. But
escapability a little bit.
Yes, sir. And just you can always get better. So just work on footwork and just get better at accuracy, like throwing power, everything. Gain some weight.
I got to talk to your lineman here, Mr. Gabe Whittington, who's a senior. You look like you can bench a couple of houses.
Gabe's only a junior.
Well, you're going to be able to bench 2 houses by the time you get out of here. You got arms like you doing 60-pound dumbbells. What do you work out with, man?
Work out, do regular flat bench.
What can you bench? What do you do now?
He's about 360,
360.
Already?
Yeah,
as a junior?
Yeah, he's probably what, a 550 squatter?
Yeah, I just hit 500 today. So.
Yeah, probably 550 squatter, and then deadlift. That's power cleans is something we all trying to get better at. But and to me, to Gabe, obviously, Gabe's one of those kids that the typical high school kid where they get called tweeners.
Right.
Is he a linebacker? Is he a D lineman? In a high school setting, you have to do what's best for your high school program.
Right.
We're trying to win ball games here and continue to get better and attract people to come here. And
looks like Kevin Stelz to me.
Yeah, he can play. Flat out, he can play. He's got a motor.
Doesn't know Kevin.
Yeah.
Stelz.
He can play. He's got a motor. He demands a double almost every damn snap. And we're trying to work with him with getting better. As far as drops and things of that nature. That's something that I know he's taking an active approach. His father's involved, trying to make sure they do all the things to make him as just make himself, notable that, hey, I can do this if you need me to. I love him with his hand in the dirt. He makes plays and team. That's, there's terms football players, those guys. We had one a few years ago in our district, the Bernard kid, very rarely recruited. And was just he's a hell of a high school football player.
We interviewed Ryan today, his oldest brother.
That's his youngest brother.
Yeah, the youngest.
Ryan's at Lakeshore.
Right. We interviewed him today.
Yeah, but the other Bernard,
Jacob
is at ULL,
right.
And then the middle one is he ended up being at Nicholls. Got signed real late in the game, and a hell of a football player.
Tough kids.
Yeah, very good football player. Now Gabe, I think that's going to be the same situation with Gabe. It's going to when it opens late, people are going to see he's a football player. There's no doubt he's a football player.
Gabe, I wanted to mention this about Stelz. You probably don't know who Kevin is, probably. But he was at Rummel.
Yep.
And about 20 years ago, he was 5'9", 240 playing fullback.
Yeah.
He benched 600 pounds when he left LSU.
Yeah.
600 pounds. He was doing like you, 360 as a junior in high school. Yeah. To just realize how potential you could be. And I see you have fullback down. I see fullback in you too. But your strength is going to be off the charts. And then we've got over here on the side of here, Kaileb, or do we have? Yeah, we got Kaileb Rayford, who's only a sophomore. So you've got 3 years left.
Yes, sir.
You got this year and then 2 more, and your receiver.
Yes, sir.
Good student, 3.0. You also like Mississippi State, LSU. Oh, and FSU, Florida State, right?
Yes, sir.
What do you like most being a young guy on the team, seeing all these older guys? I mean, what are you learning right now?
Just them being mentors to me and helping me better with my game and being good people towards me.
Learning a lot?
Yes, sir.
How are your hands right now as a receiver? You working on that pretty good?
Definitely. Definitely. That's my main thing.
You know, Coach would love that. Get great hands. And you're at that age where people start developing your hands.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to do any special teams for the team?
Yes, sir.
Like returns? Any returns?
Yes, sir.
Punt return? Kick return?
Probably all of them.
All of them?
Yes, sir.
I was joking about his hands. He's got good hands. But, personally,
Just a baby, a sophomore. So
in 10th grade, I mean, I've kind of joked the whole time, and he's making himself known, obviously as an all-district player, as a freshman on both sides of the ball. I truly think he's going to be an outstanding DB in college.
corner maybe?
I think he's a very long corner that can play, and I think he's going to do well for himself. And if it's receiver route, so be it. I mean, we're gonna promote our kids and try to get them whatever we can do to make them play somewhere. And I mean, just like any kid today, I'm sure you do all of these, and everybody writes the same 4 schools. Let's hope. Let's just make sure they're playing somewhere is my goal.
We're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have more of our interview with Pearl River High School. Be sure to take your car and truck for all your tire needs to Treads and Care Tire Company located in Central. The number to call is 331-8144. Family owned and operated since 1971. That's Treads and Care Tire Company. Welcome back to the Sports Scouting Report. Hope you're enjoying the interview with Pearl River High School. Let's go ahead and go back to our interview.
Yeah, I do highlight tapes, and we send them out to 4,000 coaches.
Well, I mean, everybody wants to play for the teams that you watch and play on ABC on 7 o'clock at night. But ultimately, people get drafted from teams. Jacob Maxwell. Yeah. I mean, he's one of 2 kids in his school's history to play in the league. And guess what? He went to ULL, still played in the league. Nowadays they find you.
He was tough.
Yeah, Max was a hell of a football player. Same thing goes. Football player that very lightly recruited. Because some of the things we did here, he only had 19 receptions his senior year. But I mean, he had 19 good ones, and he also played free safety, and but it's a combination of doing what's right for our program, for them as kids. And just in life and finding them, I want everybody to try to continue and play at the next level, whether it's Louisiana College to LSU. You're playing college football, right. You're playing a game, and you're getting an education. That's what we're trying to do here.
Well, that's like I said, there's 2,000 colleges that offer an education.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You want one and not none. You want an education.
And like you said earlier, the transfer protocol is get there, perform. Have a $1,000-yard year, 1,000 reception yard year at one of those schools, and then the transfer protocol opens it up because now that's they recruit. Unfortunately, I think they're gonna colleges are starting to recruit that area more than high schools, and it's a concern of mine because it's tougher for the seniors. I think they are being looked at. The transfer protocol is just so much more involved now that some high school kids. Now instead of just recruiting high school guys, they're recruiting the portal, and that's huge.
And, Coach, this is what upsets me. People like Mississippi College and Millsap and Harding University and all these small schools, if they have a stud, that stud's now wanting to finish at Alabama.
Correct. He's a one-year guy.
So if you're coaching at that level, you can't get ahead.
Well, you just go get 24 of them. I mean, if I was one of those guys, I'm trying to go. I mean, they're going to leave you. Yeah. They're going to leave you, and I think that's coming to high school. It's unfortunate, but I really do. I think in 5 or 6 years it's going to be because they're going to go play on a showcase team, and somebody's going to tell them they're better than what they are.
Guys, stick together, man. It means something.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
y'all are from Pearl River. It means something. Yeah, Stay here.
That's kind of the way I see it, and with social media these days, you're going to like our kids are not going to get shortchanged. Like I'll send film to, whether or not they're looking where they're from or not. I mean. They're going to get film out. Yeah. We're going to know if they can play.
Well, I appreciate you letting me come out here. I mean, this is we started at 4 or 5 o'clock this morning, and I like to meet the guys. I mean, I saw you guys on film, but to meet you, I mean, that coach will tell you, he's probably told you already, being personable and being shy and being honest about it, that's good, man. I bet in 2 years you're going to be hosting a show, man. You're going to be so used to this. But I was like you though in high school as a sophomore. Oh man, don't interview me for anything, but 256 yards in a game as a sophomore.
More than once. He can go. He can play.
And then you got a young quarterback, and Kaileb, you're young, and then Gabe, all of you guys got 2 years left at least. What do we need to do, Coach? This team, what feels different? I mean, what do you think?
I mean, the biggest thing is, obviously, I've said it over and over again. I mean, we're trying to raise the ball with the pre-district schedule, adding the Newmans and the Hannons to try to be competitive. We're still, unfortunately, we're still at the bottom of 4A numbers-wise. I mean, we still only have 52 kids in the program. So when you go play those top 4A teams, I've said it 1,000 times. The top 5 in 4A is just as good, if not better, than the top 5 in 5A. I take my chance with the 4A guys. I mean, so we got to learn to win a playoff game. I think we set the mark here that, the playoffs are now an expectation. It's been 5 years in a row, but we need to learn to win at the end of the year and learn to get better at the end of the year and learn that, hey, that's when it's supposed to even mean more. And it's tougher. I mean, they're not dumb. They know damn well when you go play core, you might have 7 D1s over there. But I tell them all the time, I'm gonna try to find something as a coach that I can beat their coach in. You find something you can beat your opponent in, one-on-one matchups. You got to challenge yourself. You got to go play against good players, and it's at that point you find out the truth about yourself. And
like you said, Neville in 4A and Carr.
Neville, Carencro, Carr,
they have more players than 5A teams.
Oh, that's it. They're line up beat some of them. They can play. And we 2 years ago we won our first playoff game in school history, and we went up to Neville, and it was a 28-16 game. But it's good to see that facility and see the nice stuff that they had. And that's one thing we're trying to do here is we're just going to constantly, it's one of those things where you just improve. If we improve just a little bit every single day, I love my junior class, I think, and we have 24 freshmen. And unfortunately, our sophomore class with COVID last year is pretty awful. I mean, we have not numbers-wise, not the quality of the kids are outstanding, but we have 4 sophomores on the roster. So that's going to be rough when they're seniors. But we do have 24 freshmen and 16 juniors, and these 4 are all, they're going to be heavily involved in what we do.
I did this with North Shore, and I'd like to do it with the coach before we end the show. Name 2 playoff teams in your mind that you like. And that comes to mind, I'll start with Coach. 2 teams for the college playoffs. I know there's 4, but name 2, Coach, that come to mind that you think will make it this year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Louisiana loyal person. I love what Ergeron does. I coach like him. I think he has a ton of passion for his state. I think so I'm going LSU 100%. And then Sweeney, Clemson's good. Alabama's always good. But if I'm picking 2, I'm going Clemson and LSU. Screw Bama.
There you go. Hey, look, the LSU fans will love that.
Hey,
man.
It is what it is.
Caleb, who you like? What 2 schools, colleges?
I'm going LSU and Clemson, same thing.
All right. Gabe?
LSU and Clemson.
I think it'll happen. I think Max Johnson's the real deal.
He can play.
I think Nussmeier's going to be a stud, too.
Yeah, they got players, man.
Nussmeier clocks the 40 in 4.45. He's like a tall Johnny Manziel. I think he's going to be that 3rd and 3 that Burrow was, and then they're going to keep Max healthy.
Max can play.
He can run, but Nussmeier can outrun him. And but I like what they have on defense too. What do you think? You named yours now, Austin. What do you think?
Well, I went to an LSU camp, and I really like Coach Haddon. He is great. I love him. And I've been an LSU kid
forever
since I could walk.
I grew up in Baton Rouge, so you know my answer.
Oh yeah. So definitely have to go LSU, and I'm a huge Trevor Lawrence fan, so I have to go Clemson LSU.
So their new quarterback from California, he's a real deal, big guy. Can't pronounce his name.
Yeah, me either.
Ugalaga or something like that?
Yeah.
Now, Brian, 2 colleges, man, that you like. Playoffs.
LSU and Clemson.
Man, nobody else. Everybody's LSU Clemson.
Hey, we don't like that. They're just trying to get some brownie points with me. They follow me. If I get them listening like this for everything, we might be pretty damn good.
I'm going to give you my other 2. I'm going to go on
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Yeah. Nah, they'll lose when it counts.
And I'm going Ohio State because the Big Ten's always them, man. And you know what Wisconsin reminds me of? Wisconsin reminds me of a 4A team in Louisiana.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always trying to be
the
big school in that kind. You know what?
They
feel that way? Wisconsin, Iowa.
They're
always playing.
They're a very good football team.
Northwestern.
They just get beat against.
And at the end, you always want them to end it, and they can't beat.
You can't beat them. Well, that's
and I'm not a Buckeye fan, but it's always the Buckeyes.
Yeah,
and then they always get smashed in by the SEC schools.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, SEC is just. I mean, the South football. I mean, we dominate, and that's
Now we did have some Oregon at the other schools.
They can.
They're
do
not
what they
gonna
want. No, they'll wear a pretty uniform and get whipped by 40. Like
no defense.
They can't.
Coach, do they have a defense in the Pac-12? I don't know.
It's amazing watching college football in general these days. I mean, the game's changing. I mean, like I said, we iterated. We used to be a wing T team, and we're changing to do things to try to, with the rules that apply now.
But that conference didn't have one great defense.
None.
In like a decade.
Yeah, no. And I'm a huge. Like I love Wisconsin and Iowa what they do offensively. Matter of fact, all our clinics we're putting an outside zone. That's going to be a staple of what we do that we haven't done in the past. It's because it's a good play. It gives bags a chance to be good bags, and I love what they do. I just think when it comes down to it, the SEC in line of scrimmages they just dominate. They're too good.
Georgia might get there too. JT Daniels, man, the quarterback. He's if he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah,
but people don't think that the coaching staff at Georgia can win the big ones. That's the Kirby,
one thing you'll never say. You hear me say is anything about a coach.
No, I'm just saying. I'm talking about the Georgia fans.
Well, just any fans. Like I said, people 4 years ago, we weren't in the playoffs every year. And I promise you, if we don't make it to the second round, it'll be like it's Coach Lab's fault.
Let me put it this way:
like we weren't here for
it's the $5 million a year coaches.
Yeah, it's no doubt. I mean, you got. I mean, look, there's always somebody at best at what they do.
Can you imagine?
You can knock. You can say what you want. Saban's the best coach in college football. He has the jury to provide that. He's
That's
excellent.
how he recruits.
Put
his thumbs out.
He's excellent. He's the best coach in the game, and that's my wife, by the way.
Hey, how you doing?
You can do a little.
Sorry.
See, this is the real life of.
Well, you're working. This is natural.
This is natural. The normal.
We had a video camera. It looked good on TV. Man.
Yeah, this is part of the daily routine.
Which we're going video, and maybe during the season we get back in video and do stuff.
Hey, absolutely. You're never going to ask to come video our kids. we fully promote.
And I got to ask you this, Brian. Did Piranhas get you to Eugene's or Kaileb? I mean, Piranhas.
That's that new look.
Is that the new look? Man,
that's the new look, man.
All right. Well, I've been out of high school for a long time.
That's the new look.
I'd have a couple.
Yeah.
But man, okay. Good luck to you guys. We've never interviewed a whole group of guys that have 2-3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a lot of fun.
I mean, not that I did have, and I'm not like any seniors that.
Right.
I mean, these guys all have a legit chance to play college football. That's why I chose them. And there's some seniors, the Price kid, Camp kid. There's a few seniors besides Sinclair. I think Camp's a good high school football player. I think Price is a good high school football player, and we'll do anything to get those guys, a look too. But when as a coach, that's a tough decision to pick kids, and I love those dudes to death. But I think these four genuinely, they have the tools to play college football, and that my job is to get them as much.
I'm telling you, with the energy, I want to go run out and play for you, man.
Yeah,
I mean, you got some energy to you, man.
We try. So
you got to have it.
It's
passion's there, and that's what I enjoy. You don't. We've talked on the phone in the past.
Yeah,
We've
absolutely
done interviews, but being able to come see you, But I appreciate it. I'm glad I came by today. Glad I could come to Pearl River.
Anytime. Hopefully I can get these guys coached up enough to be on that cover next year. I got to get one of them.
Putting the pressure on me already.
Hey, I got to get. Hey, I told you. We're going to
put the pressure on me.
Hey, they got to perform. We're going to put the numbers up.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying is if we have matching numbers, we need to be considerate. We need to be considered for the spot. That's all I'll ever ask for anybody.
Well, what happened with COVID? We went to 20 kids and we had 55.
Correct. Yeah, normally it's a little bigger. So
you got to pick 40 out of 200.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I did. Look, that should be the recruit. I mean, that's the perfect example to give parents when they talk about recruiting. Like You know, sometimes parents get upset. Well, you said my kid can't. No, your kid's very good. He's the best here. That's awesome. But when you start taking, you know, you go parish by parish, you know, like, oh, you're the best, you know, at this school. Then what are you compared in St. Tammany? Are you the third best? Then you go another parish. Now you're fifth.
I watched every team play last year, so I'll see.
Yeah.
You
see some good ones.
See some good ones. And
there's always those little one-horse towns that have some dudes that don't get no.
I'm the guy that still don't believe in the stars.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you play at this level or
Correct.
not?
Yeah.
And a lot of guys get left off. That's why I'm here today.
Yeah, stars mean stars are
It's
something.
a system now.
It's a system. They got so much political bulls, you know, with that. Like, they got dudes that can play the game, and like I said, and I'm the first coach to also say when we play somebody that has one. Like I said it when we played Moss. I think he's Sunday talent. Like, I mean, I've been doing it 20 years, and
Extremely,
and then he's like 20 years. He's the best back I've seen.
And there's 4 other ones like him in the state.
Yeah. And I didn't coach those dudes yet.
Yeah.
I didn't coach against them. A good buddy of mine, Coach Peters, is the OC at Scotlandville.
They got a great
and in his bag, and he said he coached with me. He was my OC at St. Bernard High, and he was my OC there. And he said like, this dude can go. And I'm like,
6
fun.
foot,
the
220,
gun kid, I think, huh?
Yeah, Marlon
Gun. Yes, I love watching.
Marlon runs a 10-900 meters. At
I
6
love
foot,
watching.
220.
I love watching other good players play. I think that's part of it, is giving them their props, and I love, like I said, we added Newman. It was, hey, let's go. Like, look, you got Baudelaire, put your hand in the dirt, go to work. Johnson, go cover him. Like, it
makes you better.
Well, you find, like, I'll gladly send that tape to anybody and say, well, if this dude's a 4-star and he can play there, and then he can play somewhere. Right. Bottom line is that's what we need to do. So just whips them. That's good.
All right, guys, appreciate it. Good luck to everybody. Okay.
Thank you. Y'all get back to class, guys.
We're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we're going to end the show and talk about the magazine. Hope everybody enjoyed the show today, but we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back and talk about the preview magazine. We'll be right back. Looking for a used car? Harvey Autos has 3 dealerships, which means 3 times the used vehicles. They've got everything from fuel-efficient compacts to luxury models, even hybrids, and certified pre-owned with a warranty. Check out John Harvey Toyota, Harvey Subaru, or Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City. Welcome back. You listen to the Sports Scouting Report. I hope you enjoyed the interview today with Pearl River High School. Also, we talked a little bit about the SEC injuries, and also Josh Rosen in the NFL and Jamal Adams. Want to go ahead and remind everybody before we end the show to pre-order your Louisiana Football 2021 25 years issue. Will be out. We actually will start sending them out next week. We don't have the magazine yet. It's at the printer. We're going to be getting it back any day now. But we'll start sending them out next week. Pre-order your South copy, your North copy, or also a digital copy if you just want the digital. I still like the hardback copy and the digital copy, but that's why we give the options. Go to lafootballmagazine.com. That's lafootballmagazine.com to pre-order your North and South copy. All these Pearl River kids we talked about today are in the magazine, as well as all 315 high schools we preview, all 12 colleges, including LSU and Southern and Southeastern and McNeese and Tech and, everybody. And a big recruiting section in the South and North that are separately, they're different for the different parts of the state, for the North part and the South part. I hope everybody enjoyed the show today. We'll see you on Friday.
Thanks for listening to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Brecheen.